And then one of my coworkers like, you're right. You write papers for people. I'm like, yeah, I do it all the time. And then they're like, that's fucked up. That's really messed up. Like, you're not supposed to do that. But when I was writing my sister's papers, she was on the fucking dean's list.
Wow.
So
she said, what?
How could they do something like that?
Are you serious?
What a thirsty MFer.
Not good. She's absolutely dead to me.
That's because she died.
I'm Sterling Mulberry.
And I'm Blair Payton. And welcome to
Bad Behavior, a morally questionable podcast.
We're two unqualified friends,
two unhinged comedians,
determined once and for all what is good
and what is bad.
Hello, and welcome to Bad Behavior. I'm Blair Payton.
And I'm Sterling Mulberry. In each episode of the podcast, a guest shares a morally questionable story, and we decide if they are in the right or the wrong.
Well, Sterling, I just got back from my trip from Florida.
Oh,
yes.
Gorgeous. You look tan, refreshed.
Oh, thank you.
Only a few alligator bites?
Actually, none. I was able to avoid all of them.
Good.
I treated all the alligators like pesky cats. You know when you don't want a cat to do something, you just spritz them with water? That's what I did, and it worked like a charm.
Oh, okay. Good to know. Good to know.
So our guest today is very immersed in the internet culture.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And before we introduce our guest, I wanted to see if you have heard the song, one of many.
Okay.
I heard this on TikTok. It's actually a remix of an old song, and I'm obsessed with it.
Are you going to play it?
I'm pulling it up right now because I want to get the title right.
Play a little snippet.
I heard this on TikTok. It was used in someone's like Get Ready With Me video.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, what is this song? I was a little bored by the video, to be honest.
But
the song, I was like, I'm really into this. And let me just say, as a homosexual, I feel like I'm betraying my people by saying this, but I've never been a huge Celine Dion fan. I like her as a person, but not so much the music.
Do you know what's so crazy? I was actually just talking to my friend's fiance the other week, straight man. Top 5 artists of the year, Celine Dion. I said,
we might want to check back with him by the end of the month to see if he's already come out. It is a Celine Dion song called Set My Heart on Fire, remixed to The Jammin' Kid and the Majestic. Here, I'm going to play a little bit of it. To fly, I feel like I'm alive.
Yeah, I haven't heard it.
I'm telling you, walking down the streets like that, I have never felt gayer.
Really? I haven't heard that.
Do you love it? You're not really having the reaction or the level of excitement that I did the first time I heard it.
Yeah, I might have to give it I have to probably be walking down the street and do that. Wait, can I tell you something really disturbing?
Sure.
Just went for a walk with my dog. You know, when you're like walking and you're like, oh, it's just like a jacket on the ground, whatever. She's like kind of close to it. I'm like, okay, well, don't get too close to that random jacket on the ground. I look back at the jacket. Something's underneath.
What?
Huge dead possum, like roadkill, but then someone put their jacket over it. I was like, and then there's actually somebody walking.
Do you think it was a hit and run and they were trying to hide the evidence with their own jacket?
I don't know. I was like, there's nothing like thinking something's only a jacket and then you're like, oh, something's inside that jacket.
You sound pretty shaken up. You know what would make you feel better? Is a dance party.
Oh my God, you're so right. This isn't making me feel better.
Shake them like you got them.
Okay, wait, really quick. Just crazy. I've started bringing a pen out with me.
You are insane.
Just in case I have to write a little note to somebody.
No, I love to do that too. I have a notebook and a pen. So that's when when I'm trying to be creative and write, I like to handwrite.
I'm trying to get offline, so a pen is not in my purse. You never know when inspiration might hit.
Put it in your bra.
That doesn't sound comfortable and sounds like an ink spill waiting to happen.
Well, not if you have a cap on it. You got to pin responsibly.
Of course. Even though we're trying to get our screen time a little bit down, sometimes it's fun to dig into a little online topics. And I'm so glad we have our guest here today to do just that.
Yes, because sometimes you just need a break. And when they're able to dissect the whole internet, that really helps. Who's our guest today? Well, I'm gonna tell ya. You know her as a stand-up comedian. Probably know her work from Betches. She co-hosts the podcast Go Touch Grass. Please make welcome our guest today, Millie Tamarez.
Thanks so much for coming on the podcast today.
Thanks for having me.
Of course.
So excited to have Bad Behavior.
Well, we'll see.
Now, Millie, I know it's probably deceiving that we seem very cheerful, but me and Sterling were having a pretty heated conversation about Sabrina Carpenter. Are we familiar?
That's that me espresso, of course.
Okay.
Oh, that's interesting that you said that.
But the song is called Espresso.
Yes, that's the name of the song.
Okay, well, we were talking about it, and she kept calling it me espresso. And I was like, no, grammatically, that's that me, comma, espresso. So the way she was saying it was bothering me.
Well,
that was our fight.
I don't know if this is the case, but a lot of our pop in America is written by Swedish guys who barely speak English.
Uh-huh.
So a lot of songwriters don't speak English, and they just say shit that like fits to the beat that makes no sense. That's kind of the conceit of Kyle Gordon, like Party Planet of the Bass.
Mm-hmm.
That's like the Planet of the Bass era pop music. That's all that shit of like these songs that are bangers that don't make any fucking sense.
So you don't consider yourself like espresso for someone?
It took me a while to like, that was one where I would sing along, and then I read the lyrics and I'm like, huh. So it's like, wait, like it wakes, like, yeah, I'm just deeper meaning. I'm like, so is she saying that she wakes somebody up?
I mean, down south, maybe?
I think it's kind of like you're awake because that's me espresso. Whereas Blair's saying that's not what she's saying. She's just saying like, that's me, I'm your espresso. Whereas I think she's saying I'm kind of a certain type of espresso, and that's me espresso.
We're trying to bring logic to this song.
There's no logic. It's dancing. See, this is where you guys got it wrong. You guys are both wrong and bad, and I'm here to help. Stop thinking and dance. Me dance.
Stop thinking and dance. Okay, that is good. That's a good rule for the summer. Stop thinking and dance. Okay, well, kind of as we're talking about bad behavior, I was telling Blair just before our podcast started, something actually happened to me last night, and I would kind of love to get your take, Millie. If one, this has ever happened to you, two, if you think this is really bad, three, I think if there's something we should be doing differently. Just last night, I live in the town of Los Angeles, which is actually the smallest town in the entire world. I'm kind of
already bad.
I know.
Already wrong.
I lived in New York for so long, I never ran into anyone. I moved to Los Angeles for the last almost 2 years, and I'm running to every single person I've even ever blinked at, like every day. It's crazy. I'm like, everyone, there's just 5 people here. Okay, so last night I'm walking with my friend, and I see somebody for the first time that I dated maybe 8 months ago. Though we dated about a month or so. And kind of my body's instinct took over. I immediately turned around and physically watched as fast as I could and then ran into a store. That hasn't happened to me maybe since I was in high school. But I'm never running into anyone. One, do you think that's really bad kind of etiquette? Two, I don't think he saw
How
me.
did it end?
Can I preface? He was a DJ.
Okay, well, let me tell you. Yeah, tell me how it ended, because I have an anecdote. So
I guess it ended totally fine. We just like we were definitely not looking. You'll never believe this. Not looking for the same things, and definitely not bad. But I just was like, I don't want to introduce my friend to him. He's so far away. I could just have us both not have to interact with this situation.
I don't think that's wrong.
Yeah,
I feel like, okay, so I dated a DJ.
you have to at least once. You got to get out of your system.
And also, like, DJ ability to make music and DJ music has never been more accessible. Now anyone can call themselves a DJ. Really.
Can I ask, did y'all meet like at a club, like your eyes locked on the dance floor?
We met on Tinder or Hinge or one of them. And he fucking sucked. He was an asshole. He was he was just like, ugh, like so toxic, so whatever. Like I was going to a funeral and he was being a dick to me. Like he was like being a jerk. So yeah, so then a week later he's like, hey, what's up? You want to hang out? And I'm like, oh, I was like, this was the worst night of my life. I just pulled the whole like, oh, well, you know, I think I want more than what you're able to give. And then he was like, okay, yeah, cool. And I'm like, okay, cool. Like, it's fine. Just a few weeks later, I get a text from him that says, sorry. And I'm like,
Whoa.
what? What are you even sorry? Like, and then he's like, maybe you're wrong about me. And I was like, no. I'm like,
My assessment was correct.
Yeah, I'm just like, no, dog. And then we lived near each other. I didn't see him. That was like in September. Didn't see him for months. I was like, oh, I'm scot free. Then in January, I'm walking in Dumbo, which I feel like is the Los Angeles of New York City, which it means not walkable, shitty, overpriced crap. Like, oh my God.
Damn. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So I'm walking and I'm walking behind this guy and I'm like, wow, this guy's kind of cute. And then he kind of looks back at me and I realize it's him. And I was like, and it's Dumbo. Like there's not many streets to walk. So it's like one of the only fucking train stations, that stupid part of town. And yeah, your body does fight, flight, or freeze. I'm in the middle of the block. I completely turn around and run like down the block and like go around the long way to go to work because I don't want to talk to him. Like then that same day, I saw him again in an intersection by my house. Anyway, that's just to validate your response of running away. And I saw him like more than once again. Oh my God, that's the one ex I keep fucking running into. And I
think the universe is trying to push you two together. That's what I'm hearing.
No, please.
It's feeling evil because I'm like, I have no interest. Get out of here. I'm like, bring me a new crush. Stop bringing old DJs.
Think about this.
What?
She's telling you the story about how she ran into this guy multiple times. Maybe this is a sign that you need to run into him one more time because you guys are meant to be together. Guys, love is love.
What are you kind of feeling like with one, dating apps, and then also listen to the episode where you're talking about how you hosted a speed dating event. So I wanted to hear like, what are you kind of, is like speed dating back? How was that?
So the speed dating event, what was nice about the socialist speed dating event, I mean, not that I'm like, whoa, yeah, I'm pretty like politically liberal, but it's also just nice to like, now, before dating used to be like church or your families knew each other or whatever. And now society has changed drastically. So it's like, now it's based on your own morals and values. So to have like, I'm like, oh, because that's half of dating is like, did this guy vote for Trump? You know what I mean?
Yes, 50%.
So to go somewhere where people are like, everyone should have free healthcare, I felt like, and I was working, so I really didn't get a chance to mingle, but I just felt like, oh, even a night of like meeting people like in this way, at least for me, I know some people have social anxiety and all that jazz, but I'm just like, this just feels like more humanizing than an app. And then I know like there was a guy who was short who I was talking to for a while and he had really good energy. And I'm like, man, if I saw him on an app, I would have like, fucking not even swipe. Oh, he's too short for me, you know? And like, I would have missed out on this vibe. Or there's some things where like this guy was cute, but his attitude, he was just loudly complaining and was so negative. I'm like, yuck. So that kind of stuff you can see like easier on those speed dating events. I will say like, even though I totally understand dating app fatigue, being in situations where like meeting people organically stresses me out. I mean, it doesn't stress me out, but I just feel like not that possibility. And like in theory, I'm like, yeah, of course I want to meet someone who knows my friends and has hung out with my friends and like, you know, whatever. But in that process, it's so stressful because it's like, okay, does this guy like want to hang out because he just wants to be my friend, or does he want to hang out to like date?
Right.
Well, to that extent, like going to social events, I found it easier going to straight clubs because I was like, ooh, I can just be the funny social one. But like going to a gay club and like actually like putting yourself out there is so incredibly hard.
Yeah.
Because especially most gay clubs, it's like hook up. And I'm like, do you want to start a family? You know?
Yeah.
Like,
well, that means that you actually need to come out as a lesbian, Blair.
Blair's now in a relationship, so he's out, so he doesn't have to kind of go to the clubs anymore.
Oh, well,
so
and how long before you guys moved in together? Because if it was less than 3 weeks,
we haven't moved in.
So we're not officially lesbian.
Yeah, I'm like, if it's been more than 3 weeks and you haven't moved in, I'm sorry, you're just a gay man.
Yeah.
If you've been together for 10 years, haven't moved in, and also are open, then yes, you're still gay. And that is how
Okay.
Millie Tamarez.
Happy Pride.
Happy Pride, guys.
So, Millie, we have a game on this podcast called Heaven or Hell. And so because you co-host the podcast, Go Touch Grass, which is all about kind of recapping so much of what you see online each week for sort of your listeners that maybe don't have to live online as much as you guys do. We have some different kind of online news stories and trends from the last few weeks that we would kind of love your take on. So if you've kind of been loving this news story or trend, it would be heaven. If you've kind of been hating it, hell. And if you're kind of indifferent, purgatory. So I'll start off with the first one. Diplo attending the Venice Run Club. And again, the Venice Run Club is kind of where you're like meeting, socializing with singles to try to date. And Diplo is
But with exercise.
the DJ.
You know what? I'm going to say purgatory because Diplo is like close to 50, maybe in his mid 40s.
Is he really?
And
Really?
look it up. I'm going to say there's no way he's under 38 years old.
Diplo is 45.
Well, bitch, there you go. And guess what? Diplo likes young black girls. At the Venice Run Club, he's meeting, women in their 40s, white women in their 40s. Who? I'm not even saying that he shouldn't date black women. I'm saying that it's weird that he exclusively dates young black women and like sequesters them from their life and shit. It's really crazy.
I'm kind of afraid to ask, but how young?
Well, allegedly 17, but definitely 18, 19. But again, he's 45.
Yeah.
So even if he was even in his late 30s, that was fucking weird.
Yeah.
Okay, well, this is good to know. I really didn't know Diplo's background, but I was like, it's just so crazy to me, kind of celebrity starting run club culture. Has run club culture hit New York like it's hit LA?
I think maybe as people start to wean off dating apps, they start doing shit like that. But there's always been run clubs. I feel like there's always fucking people running.
I did it one time. And then we would just get drunk after, so it kind of negated the run. So, whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, Blair, should we do the second one?
Sources say Ben Affleck is pleading insanity for his decision to marry J-Lo.
A source close to Ben Affleck was like telling like Page Six, whatever, everything. Basically said a source close to Ben Affleck said if there was any way to divorce on the grounds of temporary insanity, he would. He feels like the last 2 years was just a fever dream and he's come to his senses now and understands there's no way this is going to work. So are we kind of loving
entertainment reporting, Sterling? I love it.
Are we loving or hating this kind of news story that Ben Affleck is trying to plead insanity for marrying J-Lo?
I heard that this is PR to take away from the fact that her tour's canceled.
Yeah.
So she can be like, oh, well, me and Ben are going through problems, blah, blah, blah.
But the pictures, he looks like he's miserable.
But he's always looked like he's miserable. He's a recovering alcoholic.
Oh, that'll do it.
And he's also from Boston. Like, have you ever, they're always...
And he's ingesting, I think, way too much Dunkin'.
He's from Boston. I just think you don't know what Boston white people are like. Where are you from, Blair?
I'm from Virginia.
Okay, so yeah, Boston white people, they're you know what I mean? They look miserable all the time. They kind of hate their wives. And they're constantly drinking Dunkin'. I don't know what to tell you. That is he's just into his final form. So I think what's that tattoo on his back? I'm gonna say hell just because all of this is terrible.
A phoenix? Is it Phoenix?
A phoenix, yeah. So he's back into his final form.
Okay.
Someone breaking up with you and not being like, hey, maybe you're not the one for me, but saying like, I'm actually pleading insanity. Like I have to plead insanity for dating you. It just seems like one of the worst. That seems tough,
Yeah, but it's J-Lo.
What is your take on the whole J-Lo kind of downfall this year?
I've heard that she's not nice and like she's a bitch and all that stuff. Not necessarily means that you deserve like to fail or anything, or that your life, like you deserve to be in shambles. But she just made a lot of people's life difficult, and also like has never used her platform to elevate people or doesn't do any kind of mentoring or doesn't do, it's not like she's giving back to the Bronx. It's not like she's doing things for Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico has a lot of political problems. She's not. So yeah, it's just, so in that way it's tough. Like, she's a very guarded person. She's very like whatever. So it's just all things that just personally don't gel well with me. I do understand people are like, oh, they're taking it too far. They're like, whatever. I watched that I watched the
Oh, you did?
thing. Yeah, I watched the documentary and the thing. I don't think it was the worst thing that has ever come out. I just think that it's a little, she's just high on her own supply and was too ambitious.
I will say, I wish I had J-Lo's self-esteem, because boy, nothing phases her. I mean, Jesus.
I think shit things face her. Like, again, I can't get into specifics, but I know people, let's just say that her writer is insane.
Yeah, I've heard that.
And like, you can't make eye contact and all that crazy shit.
I'd be too nervous. I don't have the confidence. I don't have the confidence to do it. Nope, not happening.
Yeah, so people are crying like, oh, everyone's too harsh on women. I don't know if it's that. I think it's like, everyone is too harsh on women, and yeah, you're a bitch. Like, stop being a bitch. Like stop being unpleasant.
Two things can be
people.
true at once.
Yeah.
Okay, did you see this video? Okay, so it is the newlywed husband spraying his bride with champagne on their wedding day.
Hell, I've seen it.
Yeah.
The guy's white, the girl's Asian.
Yeah.
If she murdered him, no court would convict her,
Okay.
is what I'll say. It was just so deliberate and mean in a way that it was like, do you like her, or do you, and people were saying, they asked, and he was like, oh, it was like a sports game kind of, and it's just
He looked like a frat guy, too.
Oh, he was a total rich frat guy who's never had been told no and all that stuff. And it's also like, I don't know, man, do comedy, embarrass yourself, but then you'll have like stage time, so you won't have to be doing this.
Oh, so you're kind of telling him to come to comedy.
Yeah, he was doing prop comedy at his wedding.
Who recorded that video? Like, if it was them and they were like, this is going to look good on the internet, it's like, what?
Do you think it was staged?
She looked too nice. Like, that dress was really expensive. Like,
it was interesting. Okay, so we're kind of saying that was a hell. Was a hell. Okay, this is our last one.
The baby name trend on TikTok right now, where people say names they like. For example, Afternoon.
It's like this trend where people are like, these are names we really wanted to use but didn't, so go for it.
Yeah, Rumble Honey.
Is Rumble Honey, would that be hyphenated?
I think Rumble is the first name and Honey's the middle name. That's a real name. That's Nara Smith's daughter. I just think that for the longest, Black people in America in general have been taunted for having creative. Shaniqua, like kind of in a racist ways. And also, I'm Dominican, and Dominican people do have very creative names. They'll usually like combine the mom's name and the dad's name. So like, the mom's Gloria, the dad's Louis, Glorious, stuff like that all the time. So it is fun to see people like take that and run with it, and that it's like across the spectrum and it's not like a whatever, but there are some names that are fucking stupid.
Yeah.
But it's tough because you don't, you want your kid's name to be individual and all this shit, but then everything has already happened and every name has already whatever, and you look up a name you like and that person's killed 15 people, so you're gonna name him Afternoon.
There was a guy I knew and his name was Z, just the letter Z.
People don't even believe my name is Millie, and I'm like,
Really?
That's not that weird of a name on the spectrum, or they think it's a nickname or something like. And I'm like, no, I don't work in a diner. I'm not above working in a diner. I just don't right now.
Well, that was our game, Millie. Thanks so much for playing. You did incredible.
Did you have any thoughts on Taylor Swift? Because we did mention that before the recording. Did you want to talk?
Yeah, let's get me canceled. She's fine.
Well, Millie, we're at the portion of the podcast where you've brought in a story that might be in the right or the wrong, and Blair and our etiquette experts are going to help judge if you exhibited good or bad behavior. So whenever you're ready, jump on in.
I don't know how you guys feel. Are you guys rule followers?
Yeah, unfortunately.
Depends.
I feel like you guys are rule followers because I'm firmly like, I don't think this is wrong,
Okay.
but I know people, whatever. Where I'm from in Florida, we were not prepped well for college. Like that's actually like a very common thing of like Black and Latino schools. They don't prep people well for college. I went to college and also my college was in Southern California, was far away from home. And I just feel like now I can kind of say like, just even like microaggressions and stuff like that, I was just constantly treated like I was a fucking idiot. Which and I'm not. So and that's just something that has always stuck with me of like the way that people whatever. So when I graduated college, it was in the recession, like in 2011, could not get a job and I was just super depressed. But again, in college, like I was like the party crazy animal that blah blah blah, and people didn't take me seriously, and I wasn't smart and all this stuff.
Mhm.
But back home in Florida, I graduated college on time. I was like, I went to a 4-year college. I was like one of the only people that went to a 4-year college, like of my group of friends. Like I went out of state for college. Like that was a whole other thing. So like I came back home and everyone was like, whoa, like what like what are you gonna do with you're like the person that made it out. But I couldn't get a job for fucking nothing because it was just terrible and it was Florida. So Florida like was just like feeling the worst of it. So my friends were in community college. I feel like it was much easier to go away to school and focus and everyone is studying and everyone's doing finals versus like my friends who, you know, would always like live at home or work or have to work full time and then go to school at night. And like they were in a 2-year associate's degree for like fucking 4 years, like 4 or 5 years, 6 years. Like it would take them a long time because they constantly like are trying to balance everything. Anyway, okay. So my homegirl, let's say she's not very book smart. I'll say that. Some would say she's dumb. I feel like that's mean. But she wasn't that book smart. So she's like, yo, Millie, like, can you write this paper for me for my English final? Like, and it needs to be on this book. And I'm like, okay. And I'm just feeling like, again, like I was the dumbest in my college. I came back, no, whatever. I spent like a few days, like I read everything. I fucking put my back into this essay, like 2 or 3 days. And I think she offered me $50 or something, right? And then I finished it. And then I was like, okay, like, you want to talk about this? Like, I can send. And I asked her, I'm like, you want me to kind of write it like you? You know, like you want me to write it like you would write it? And then she's like, no, no, just do your, I need to get an A. I need to get an A. Like, okay, I'm done. Do you want me to like send it? Do you want to talk it out? Like I can, run you through this. No, send it in. Like, I think I took like, I went a day past the deadline because I was like working so hard on it. And she's like, no, send it straight to my teacher's email. And I'm like, okay.
From your email?
Or I guess you submit it to like a Dropbox situation.
Okay.
Something like that. Anyway. Let's call my friend Kimberly.
Okay.
Kimberly goes to class. And the teacher is like, Kimberly, who wrote this? And then Kimberly's like, what are you talking about? I did. And then the teacher's like, no, you didn't. Like, this is perfect. You've never written anything like this. And like, my friend is recalling this story and I'm like, damn, I got it. I still got it. But my friend, she's like, yeah. And then I'm like, what? She said it was perfect. And my friend was like, yeah, man, that bitch. And then, the teacher was like, and my friend like went off. She's like, nah, man, you always tell me that I got to get help on my shit. And now I got help. You know, I got a tutor and you now you're fucking bitching, like whatever, la, la, la. And then, the teacher's like, okay, what does this word mean?
Oh boy. Oh no.
And she's like, nah, man, I forgot.
Oh, Kimberly.
And then I'm like, well, what was the word? And she's like, no, I forgot what she said. But, like my friend couldn't even retain the word that stumped her.
Oh boy.
So my friend ended up getting a fucking 0 and failing the class. But to this day, I'm like not even 100% sure if she paid me.
I was gonna say.
I think she did. But then, okay, and then like my sister who went to the military, she was in the military and stuff, and then, like you graduate and then you get the GI Bill. So she was like a fucking mom of 2 or 3. Like at the time she was a mom of 2 and she has a job and she's getting her bachelor's so she can earn more money. So I would write for her. And then one of my coworkers was like, you're right. You write papers for people. I'm like, yeah, I do it all the time. And then they're like, that's fucked up. That's really messed up. Like you're not supposed to do that. That's that, so I'm like, okay. And again, for me, like I've always felt like the dummy, whatever, or not dumb. I know I'm not dumb, but people have made me feel like not smart and all this stuff. But when I was writing my sister's papers, she was on the fucking dean's list.
Wow.
So
Did you charge your sister?
Yeah, I did. She would pay me like $200 or $100.
Okay.
She'd pay me really well. The thing, the moral quandary, is people feel really strongly about, and again, there's like this writers Facebook group I'm in, and like people are looking for gigs, and I'm like, hey, my other sister knew somebody who was applying to nursing school, but I don't know. I'm like, I understand a high school kid, you want them to learn, or like a college kid, but like if you're talking about somebody in their 30s or 40s who are like have a career already, like I don't know. And so this was like, hey, this person needs help with a personal, like this working professional needs help with a personal essay to get into like this nursing program.
Mm-hmm.
Does someone want to write it for like $400? Mm-hmm. And then a bunch of people in the comments are like, this is ethically wrong. What the fuck?
Okay, so your friend that ended up getting a 0 on that essay, did they end up graduating from their program?
It's hard to say. I think maybe.
Okay.
I think maybe.
Okay. And do you remember what book it was that you were doing?
Like the vibes it was giving Kate Chopin's like
The Awakening or something.
The Awakening, some shit like that. Not quite. I don't think it was a novel because it was something that I read and like had to analyze.
Okay, gotcha.
With your sister, what was her degree in? Was it just like a general business degree?
I think the classes I was doing it for was business.
Okay.
But she maybe graduated with computer some shit.
Okay.
So the actual stuff that she needs for her job, and I think she has a master's now or whatever, but it's like, I'm not doing like coding or anything like that. But like,
right.
if you're an IT professional, you still have to take like a business class and write about a business plan that didn't work or something. And sometimes it was just honestly, sometimes it was writing, but a lot of times it was like looking over her essays and like editing them and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And so with some of this money you were able to get, it doesn't sound maybe a like life-changing amount of money, but some of the money, were you able to get out of Florida? Did it give you some stamina that like helped sustain you after?
So now my friend, because it was again $50 and I fucking whatever. I really can't even remember.
I'm trying to help you out, Millie. I'm like, this got her into comedy.
But my sister specifically, when I first started comedy, I was a receptionist at Toyota corporate, and I was paid $13.75 an hour to be a receptionist in 2014. And I had to like pay my rent, pay my student loans, and still like do, improv, practice groups and go out and all that stuff. Like, so $150 extra or $100, even $50 was like great. And honestly, in that era, I was like working 6 days a week.
Yeah.
Like I had my Toyota job and then I had a weekend job where I worked at Dave & Buster's, which is a whole other fucking moral conundrum. And then at night I would do my improv stuff. So yeah, like that extra $100 would, I say, propelled me into comedy and like helped me pay for whatever. And I could do that while I was at the reception desk.
And was this in New York too, when you were doing the Toyota job? And
yeah, the Toyota, that was all in New York. Yeah, so damn. It was like fucked up.
$13 an hour.
$13.75. So it's fucked up because they paid a temp agency $21 an hour, and then the temp agency would take 8.
Dang.
It fucking sucks.
That's crazy.
When it came to the rate at which you charged your sister, how did you come up with that price point?
I think just based on effort and like how much research I would have to do.
How much time would you have to put into like each paper, roughly?
Depends. I would say maybe 4 hours.
Oh,
Like on a good 2 to 4 hours, I think.
okay.
Okay, well, I think I have my verdict, Blair. How are you feeling?
I think I have mine too.
Oh god, I'm getting nervous.
I think this is a clear-cut case for me. Okay, well, one, I think the biggest culprit of them all in this story is, shout out, Toyota. I currently own a Prius, but I'm not loving your labor practices of how much you were paying a receptionist in New York City in 2014. But I think that
2013.
2013, sorry. I think that you were doing kind of the things to get by in order to like make it in New York, and whether that was kind of helping out people writing essays. Here's the thing. I am sure people are getting their essays written all of the time, ultimately, you know, and you were kind of doing it so sparingly for people that it wasn't like, oh, are they like, it wasn't like a make or break in terms of like, oh, they were getting this elite spot at this one thing that like, you know, that was like taking away a place from somebody else or something like that. So I think in the grand scheme of things is that maybe the best thing ever. I don't know, but I don't think it's so terrible. It ended up helping you get some like pocket money to be able to like sustain a career in comedy. And so I think it's going to be good behavior in my book. Blair?
I pretty much echo Sterling on this because I remember I went to community college, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Everything that was taught there was archaic. I went for radio and TV production. I learned everything out on the field. So some of the classes were just peripheral, just filling up the course load. One class in particular was, I don't remember what the class was. I remember the teacher's name. I'm like your friend Kimberly. I don't remember the teacher.
You're like, there's this one class I'll never forget. Well, I
remember his name. It was Mr. Hooven. He was a dick. But I remember a good friend of mine had his class before me, and she passed his class, and he loved her. And so I had to write this paper on some book. And of course, I didn't read the book. And so I was like, will you come help me write this? Literally wrote the paper, only reading the back of the book. And I used the word anti-disestablishmentarianism in my paper. I don't know what the fuck that word means. I kind of can use context clues, but the paper was a mess. I didn't pass that class. And I'm thinking, had I just paid her instead of trying to get the old free help, I think I would have been in a much better situation. Mm-hmm. And you know, I don't even know what that class is, but I'm doing okay now. So yeah, I think it's good behavior. The only thing I would say bad behavior is you should have charged more, you know?
Yeah, it was sister and friends and
family friend discount,
family friend. I'll say this, right? Again, to me, I'm like not that community college education isn't important or whatever, but I'm just like the stakes are a little lower for me. I know somebody who used to write. This to me is fucked up. Mm-hmm. The Harvard Lampoon, you know that? Yeah. Like, so they have their literary magazine, and that's literally how SNL and all these people like get their fucking staff. I know someone who used to ghostwrite for somebody, and they're like like a comedian in New York City.
Now that I don't like.
And a writer, and then they would ghostwrite for this person.
Whoa.
And then now this person has all these bylines and said, I wrote for the Harvard Lampoon, and like, you know, and like that to me,
expose them.
I'm not. I will never. But I'm like, that's fucked up. You're telling me my sister, who's a single mom.
Yeah,
she don't give who cares?
Well, and also,
you know?
I noticed when you were telling the story about writing the paper, and then when the teacher said, this is the most perfect paper, I could see the joy that brought to your heart.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely.
And it's all about those small joys, you know?
I needed it. I needed that win.
You really need a win sometimes. I'm always saying
I need
that.
a win sometimes.
I just thought of something else. In high school, I took chemistry, dumb as hell, and I sat beside a football player, okay, who was brilliant at it. I cheated on the final exam and passed that thing with a B.
Amazing, Blair. And that's why you're where you are today. Thank God to that football player.
In podcasting. I did it.
Well, okay, well, Millie, I think the verdict is you've officially been deemed
good behavior.
So we know it can be a little intimidating coming up with like an awards acceptance speech on the spot. So we have a little acceptance speech for you to deliver today.
Wow, thank you guys so much. This award means so much to me. I've always wanted to be viewed as a good person, and as Ayo Adebri recently learned, podcasts are forever, so I'm glad that I always have this record of being a good person. And J-Lo, if you're listening, I'm sorry about everything I said earlier, but it's not as bad as what Ayo said, so I think we can still host SNL together.
Oh, beautiful.
Beautiful.
Wow.
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 That really all tied together.
It did tie together. Well, Millie, before we wrap up, can you tell listeners where they can follow you, any upcoming shows or things to plug?
Yeah, you can follow me at Millie_Tamarez on Instagram and TikTok, MILOYTAMAREZ. You can follow me on Twitter. Yes, I'm still on there at Millie Tamarez, just one word, no underscore. And you can listen to Go Touch Grass, the podcast where we log in so you can log off.
Well, thank you so much for coming on today, Millie. And that's our show. Thanks so much for listening today.
We absolutely hate to do this. We hate it.
But it would mean the world to us if you can subscribe to the podcast wherever you get podcasts, rate and review.
Follow us at Bad Behavior NYC on Instagram and TikTok. Thanks again for listening.
And remember, whatever your moral status, we are always here to judge.
Bye.
Do you think that was good?